Hi, and welcome to Something for the Weekend, brought to you as always by Together 2012. We're a social enterprise based in the main Paralympic host borough of Newham, and I'm Ju Gosling, artistic director and artist, also known as Ju90. With me in my East London studio, where she's been since March 2020. Is our chair, the artist and activist Julie Newman. But first, before we get some proper introductions from you and some audio description for this end, let's go to the other end of our long virtual wheeled sofa in the West Midlands for some introductions and audio description from our co-hosts. I would say we want to guess what we're dressing up to go out to stay in to do, but I think you'll probably guess, certainly as soon as you get to the audio description. But over to you.
Okay, I'm Tracy Surgener, and I'm here in our studio in Sutton Coldfield, and behind us we have our, our red velvet curtains. Myself, I've got long blonde hair, which is down today, just coming across my shoulders. I've got pale skin, blue eyes, and I'd say I'm wearing sort of an artisan style blouse today, with random rectangles and squares with different patterns in, but the majority of the colours are beige, a winey red, and white. So quite like that. And do you want me to tell you why I'm wearing this?
Yes, I'm very intrigued, actually.
Thank you. Well, I'm wearing this, and it links into something I'll talk about later, to inspire me to become creative.
Well, I'm glad I didn't have to describe this shirt. That's all I can say. So, hi, I'm Robin Surgener. I'm business director at Together 2012, co-host, and occasionally known as Angry Fish the artist. Today, I am sporting long again, grey white hair. It's going to have to be shorn soon. I am wearing no-rimmed black-armed glasses, which, with any luck, this might be their last appearance because they're very poorly. Behind those glasses, I have blue eyes. A little unshaven today, and then I'm wearing my favourite Team GB Tokyo grey hoodie. Again, no surprises in terms of that's going to involve something to do with the Paralympics that we'll talk about in the week ahead.
Thank you, Robin. So back to East London. Like I say, I'm Ju Gosling, and today I am wearing a Team GB baseball cap in navy blue. I've got a navy blue Tokyo 2020 Paralympics t-shirt. We would like to pretend they're the official thing, but actually, they're from eBay. But moving swiftly on, I've got a self-styled hennaed Corona crop under my blue baseball cap. I've got green eyes behind black plastic glasses. I've got olive skin, black plastic wrist braces, and silver-coloured jewellery. Behind us, you can just see some of the Together 2012 graffiti banner. That has graffiti images on it of a whole range of the art forms that we cover in the course of a year, and often in a week, from circus art, carnival art, street art, photography, filmmaking, music, dance, spoken word, poetry, and much, much more. And in the first half of the show, we're going to be looking at some poems and artwork that have been produced in the Together 2012 art clubs and pop-up poetry clubs this week. Also behind us in the middle of the screen is our teddy bear Tanny holding up a Paralympics banner. And Tanny is waiting for the second half of the show, where our traditional Clockwork Paralympics will take place, to decide whose teddy bear gets to wear a medal for the next week when they take part in the ongoing international virtual bear hunt. So last but by no means least, Julie, who are you? What do you look like?
Hi, I'm Julie. I'm the chair of Together 2012. And today I'm a twin with Ju. With one exception, of course, my hair is longer.
Somehow she won't let me cut hers.
I have auburn going white, and so it's sort of gold and silver hair, which is not quite as long as Tracy's, and it's resting gently on my shoulders. I have a similar to Ju. I've got the same outfit, but it's just slightly bigger.
I'm going to say actually that whilst your shirts may not be as official as others, I think it is a huge compliment. I mean, what a change. Can you imagine 10, 12, 15 years ago, there being rip-off Paralympic gear? I mean, it's like that legitimizes it in such a different way, but that's kind of cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you, of course, are our resident Paralympic champion. So how do you feel seeing all these younger people being ripped off on eBay and you never got that opportunity?
Oh, I'm deeply impressed. There you go. Actually, well, no, I think I'm not jealous. That would be the wrong word. I wish, it would have been nice. And I'm just actually genuinely, really super pleased that athletes who are putting the same efforts in as their able-bodied counterparts are being recognised for being sports people before anything else.
Absolutely. So in the second half of our show, as always, we'll be looking at what's on the week ahead online and on TV. So we'll come back to the Paralympics then. We're also going to be doing all things Kitchen Carnival as we're part of, well, we're very much in the middle of our Summer Together programme of extra activities. But first, let's look at what happened on Wednesday at this week's Pop-Up Poetry Club. Julie, do you want to give us a report?
Yes, we had again a very actively engaged group of people as part of the poetry club phoning in. Well, no, we phoned them, and they participate in the poetry club, which is led by Alison, our international artist, who leads the programs for us. The theme this week was a windy day, and there were lots of different interpretations of it, but all of which I thought were really interesting.
So who do you want to start with?
I've got Alison's poem, which is called Unseen Wind. This is Alison Marchant. Unseen presence of the wind, dead leaves driven like a fleeing ghost, loose like dead leaves falling, flying, tangled boughs swaying on a blue surface, lift me as a wave, leaf or cloud, unseen presence of the wind.
Oh, that was beautiful, Alison. What have you got from us for us first in the West Midlands?
I'm going to do one by Sterre Ploeger, and it's called The Wind. When I go out in the wind, it makes me look like I've been fighting with the wind. My hair flies on my face. The leaves blow up into the wind. The leaves dance around the trees. Sometimes the wind destroys trees and makes pieces. Sometimes the wind doesn't let you move. Sorry, I'll do that bit again. Sometimes the wind doesn't let you move forward and pushes you aside.
Thank you, Crystal, and thank you, Tracy. I think you've got one for us from Dwayne Bryan. Is that right, Robin?
I do indeed. This one is called A Windy Day. Sometimes the wind is fast. Sometimes the wind is slow. No matter, the leaves start to grow. It's so windy. The leaves are on the ground, rush to the air. And you take a look up, and the leaves are there. The leaves scatter on the ground and leaves a mess. So you grab your broom and you do your best. Leaves fall off of the trees, and that's no doubt the mess they make. I could make you scream and shout.
Thank you, Dwayne. I was trying to think what we do these days when it's windy, and I think I just check that the parasol outside is down, and that's kind of it. But anyway, this is from Ellen Goody, and it's called Fast Wind. Fast, fast, fast wind, blowing fast, trees blossoming in the wind, rubbish rattling on the ground, fast wind. I really like that, Ellen. Thank you very much. And Julie, I think you've got yours for us next.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. It's called Variable Winds. The wind beats hard against the window pane, pushing, shoving with a terrible force. The trees bend sideways, then battered by rain, back up as it moves and changes its course. Easterly winds bring storms from the seas. Relentless wind fuels endless August fires. There scorched earth lies with blackened trees in lands not far away, starved of summer rain. How can the separation be so great, these countries with seas sitting in between? Yet two places suffer such differing fate, one beaten by fires, the other still green. The winds will soon fade, the rains will freshen, the barometer shifts, the pressure rises. Sun brings relief and sun brings depression.
Thank you, Julie. Yes, that was a good reminder of how dangerous the wind can be. And finally, I think we've got one from Dawn Barber.
We have, and that one's called A Windy Day. Excuse me. On a very windy day, I walk along the street, seeing all the puddles near my feet. Hell, what a day, I think to myself. I wish I hadn't come out. What is all this weather about? It is going crazy. It's so strong, I hold on to... Sorry. It is going crazy. It is so strong, I hold on to me and I won't let go. Time to have a talk to the weather. But it won't hear me. All I can hope is that it will soon calm down, like turning down a radio.
That's a really nice analogy. And thank you, Dawn, and thank you, Tracy. As Julie said earlier, our pop-up poetry is free to any disabled person and anybody you want to bring with you. It takes place on a Wednesday morning from 10:30 to 12 by telephone. We phone you and we pay for the calls. And generally what happens is you get everybody started by 10:30, aren't they? So the phone rings from about 10:15 to make sure everybody's on the call from 10:30. Then people share poems that they found or that they've written. We have some time out to go and write, and then people come back and share their poems. It's very much in the spirit of the Pop-Up Poetry Club that we've been running since 2012, but with one exception, which is you have to provide your own hot drinks and biscuits. I've just been going over our budget and removed the event refreshments heading because sadly that's all down to you at the moment. So finally, if you want to join in from home, what's next week's theme, Julie?
Carnival.
Brilliant. And we will be telling you a lot more about our kitchen carnival project very soon and how you can join in from home. But I think now we'll have a look at what the art club's been up to this week. Now, again, if you want to join in from home, you can. We're going to start by showing you some still life images. And the Art Club runs a still life session on a Friday from 11 to 12 on Zoom. So what happens is Alison, as our club's program leader, creates an image, shares it on Zoom, but can also text it to you, send it by WhatsApp, email it to you, whatever is easiest. She audio describes the image at the start, so if you don't have a big screen, that's very helpful as well. But I think it helps everybody to become quite mindful and, really aware of the image and what the image looks like. And then people just draw and paint with whatever they've got available at home and share it and show each other what they've been doing at the end. If you'd like to join in, drop us a line, info@together2012.org.uk. And I'll tell you a bit more about that in a minute. But first of all, Let me just pop this up into the stream. Robin, shall we try and audio describe this between us?
Okay. Well, okay. So there are, as ever, it's just a plain white background, and there are two items that
I think they're both women's hats, fluffy beret hats.
Okay. But the way they're positioned, I can see that they're hats, but they look like two birds. So one is a pink fluffy hat, very, very kind of a very baby pink, I would say, with a brooch on it with pink petals, and a pale feather on it with a silver background, and then the other hat is on a little stand, and it's more like a print of a cheetah or a leopard, with a black bow, and then with some black and white feathers, just a couple of feathers. Well, they're black with white dots, but then fade out into a grey. But it does actually, to me, it looks like two birds.
It really does. I think it's very, very clever. So we have a highlights and links page on our website, which I'll tell you more about in a little bit. But if you'd like to have a go at drawing or painting this at home, that image will be up along with everything else by about 6 o'clock on the Friday the show is recorded. So let's just have a look at a few people from today. So this is Crystal Peasy, and Crystal's had a go at painting this, and she's really highlighted the colours. So she's used a very, very bright pink for the lower hat in the pink, and lots of black for the other beret and the stand. And then this is Sophia. Sophia, I think, has been using felt tip and crayons, and that's a really, really lovely picture, Sophia. And I like the way Sophia's just put a line in as well to show the background. And then finally, for now, this is by Lee Brooker. Lee has used coloured pencil, and as always from Lee, that is just a really beautiful representation. So we're going to go back a few days to Tuesday when the art club run a make and natter session. And the make and natter session, pretty much does what it says on the tin. You can bring any kind of craft activity with you to just join in, show us and have a natter, or you can join in with a recycled craft activity led by Alison. And people are doing all sorts of things at the moment. So I'm just going to show a few of them. And first, this is Ellen Goody. And so Ellen is continuing something that a sort of similar way of making collage to what she's done before. What she's done here is she's drawn spoons on blue paper in shades of green and pinks, and then she's cut them out of the blue paper and stuck them onto the green paper. And that in itself has just given a really, really good effect. So it's a great technique to use. So I'm just going to take that off. So this is Duncan Bridgestock, and Duncan is working on a long series of collages made from recycled cardboard, cutting out various different shapes. So this one is in dark blues, purples, whites and reds, and almost defies description, but it's a fascinating collage. We're going to see a lot more of Duncan's collages in November as part of our Together 2021 Disability History Month Festival. Now, finally, from Tuesday, this is Sophia. And Sophia is working on 2 different masks as part of our Kitchen Carnival project. So she's wearing what's the beginning of a silver carnival mask, which has just got a really simple headband from cardboard and some triangular ears covered in foil. But she's holding up with her support worker a much more elaborate black mask. And we're going to watch a video about how to make that in a little bit. So again, if you'd like to join the art club, drop us a line, info@together2012.org.uk, or look for the details on our website, www.together2012.org.uk. You can also read about the art club on our highlights and links page, which, like I say, will be up by 6 o'clock. Go to our website, click on the pull down menu under Together 2012 TV, and today's episode will be the first thing you come to in that menu. There's also going to be copies of all the poems, all of the pictures, all of the videos we're going to show, and links to all of the activities that we're going to recommend in the second half of the show. But now we're going to move on and join in with Tracy. So, Tracy, I'm going to put the first picture up and get you to tell me what we're doing this week.
Okay, this week I thought I'd try something completely new, and I've been working with salt dough, and basically it's very easy to make. It's just 3 ingredients, which is plain flour, salt, and some water.
Brilliant.
And it's such an easy thing to do. There's a recipe where, I mean, if you can see that sort of ball of dough that I've got there, that was 1 cup of flour to half salt, half water. And it really went a long way. And it just feels so nice to play with, actually. It's quite enjoyed it.
So am I all right to move on to the next picture?
Yes. So basically, I mean, all of the details are going to be online on our usual pages. But what I've done is I've kept the cling film I've kept the dough wrapped in cling film, and that keeps it moist to stop it from drying out. I've basically just used a quarter of it there and chopped it into different sizes. And basically what I thought, how creative can I be with this? So I chopped it up into the relevant size, just smaller sizes, and came up with a few different designs of things I wanted to make. Here we are having a go at a little teddy bear there. So I've made 1 flat base to stand it on, a little circle for the body, a smaller one for the little head, a couple of little fold back ears, and then 2 little feet. There is my completed teddy. Obviously, it's not been painted yet. But yeah, that was my first attempt. I was quite pleased with that. This dough that I've made actually air dries, so you can just air dry it, leave it out for a couple of days. Here I am using a little tiny roller that Emily had when she was a baby to play with, and it's just the perfect size for rolling out salt dough. So I'm rolling this out, stretching it out as much as I can. I used Rodin's hand because I'm not really good at putting my own hand out flat. Drew round it and then just cut round it with a knife, and it comes away quite easily. The idea with this is that I'm making a hand-shaped bowl. So you just drape the hand over a bowl and leave that to dry for a couple of days. That one's still drying, actually. It's not ready yet. You can apparently put it in the microwave, but I'm not sure about that. And then here, I thought I'd have a go at making maybe a rose. So if you do make things that have got more than 1 layer or little bits to add on, literally just need a little bit of water to help the dough stick together. So that's what I'm just showing there.
So that's all the pictures from today, but what do you do next? Is it all about air drying, or can you also put it in the oven?
You can put it in the oven. I don't like using the oven myself. It's a bit difficult for me. You can simply let it air dry. You can put it in the oven, and again, on the website it'll tell you for how long. Or if you've got a microwave, you can just blast it in the microwave. It says do it every 10 seconds, then check it. 10 seconds, then check it. That's as far as I've got with the dough this week, but I'm hoping throughout the week I'm going to paint it and show you next week.
Brilliant. And If you were air drying, I know it's going to be on the website, but just roughly how long does it take?
A couple of days, actually, depending on what you've got. The hand is taking longer because it's over a dish, so the air isn't circulating underneath it as much. But I've also made a bit of jewellery, but I haven't painted that yet. I'll show you next
So it
week.
sounds like it's a really good activity to split over 2 weekends where you
Yeah.
make it one weekend and then decorate it and glue it together if necessary the following weekend. And then just let it air dry the whole week.
Yeah. And be as creative as you want. I've made some really tiny little balls, which I fed onto a barbecue stick to create the hole. They're pretty much dry now, and I'm going to paint them and turn it into a bracelet.
Sounds brilliant. So, Julie,
I think this is wonderful. It's quite a traditional way of using to make a pottery that isn't made of clay. But just a word of caution: keep it away from pets and small children
Okay.
while it's drying. I think, especially because I'm mindful of our dogs. With the salt, it could be unpleasant for them.
Yeah, thank you for that, Julie. That is a really good point. And I think you said it cost you about 28p's worth of flour to make all of that.
Yeah, and then a whole bag of flour is about 28p in Asda. The salt, again, is really, really cheap. And I made that one ball, and I've made all those things out of one ball. So yeah, the kitchen is your oyster. You can make as many things as you want.
Well, that is a really good introduction to our kitchen carnival. Our kitchen carnival is running through to, well, it will remain online indefinitely and we will be doing more things next year. But at the moment, it's expanding online until Hackney Carnival Online, which is traditionally for Hackney Carnival on the second Sunday of September. So we are making our own costumes and then we're making a film as a performance. We'd love you to join in, but you don't have to be part of our film. You can just join in from home, upload your pictures or videos to social media and just tag them with hashtag Kitchen Carnival. And we'll be able to have a look and you'll be taking part. You can find a very quick link to the website under www.kitchencarnival.org, or it's on our main website under the Join In From Home menu. So this is how to make a black or white bat mask. And I'm just going to say for our captioner that it's already captioned. The Kitchen Carnival. Make your own black or white bat mask. To make the black or white bat mask, you need an empty cereal packet, a toilet roll inner, kitchen foil, scissors, a glue stick, a pen or pencil, a paper clip or hair grip, something to draw a straight line with, black or white paint. If you don't have a brush, you can sponge it on, and an empty yoghurt pot, jelly pot, bottle top or similar to make the nose. Unglue the cereal packet and cut off one side and the back or front of the packet. Take the back or front of the packet and mark the centre of each side on the printed surface. Join the marks to form a cross. Now join the marks the other way to make a diamond shape. Cut out the diamond shape. Now you have 4 card triangles and a diamond. The triangles will be the ears. Next, draw a line down the cross from the centre of your diamond. Make another line below the centre of the cross and join them up. Cut this out, it will be what you look through. Hold up the diamond and look through it, then make the hole bigger if necessary. Now take your yoghurt pot or whatever you're using for your nose. Glue around the edges and stick it on above the eye hole on the plain side of the card. Next, take the side of the packet and cut it in half to make 2 thinner strips. Glue the strips together to form one longer strip. Then glue a triangle on each side of the join. Each ear must have its straight edge on the outside. Now join the band at the front with your paper clip or hair grip. Try it on your head and adjust the band as necessary to fit loosely. Mark the join before you remove the clip so you know where to glue. Now glue the front together. You can put the clip back on to hold it in place while it dries. Now put glue on the outside of the headband where you've joined it together and put it back on your head. Hold up your diamond till you can see through the hole. Then push it onto the glue on the headband to fix it into place. Now it's ready to paint. Acrylic paint covers best, but use whatever you have available. You can use an old bottle top as a paint palette. You'll probably need to use more than one coat of paint. You might want to weigh down the mask while it's drying. Make the rest of the mask parts while you're waiting. Cover one side of each of the remaining triangles with foil. These are the inner ears. Check you're covering the correct sides. Next, cut off some squares of foil to make 2 large and 2 small balls. If you have cotton wool available, you can wrap this in foil to make the larger balls. These are the bat's eyeballs and nostrils. Now cut the toilet roll inner into 3. 1 part will make the mouth and 2 will make the eyes. Cut into each eye at regular intervals to make the lashes. Curl the card up with your fingers. Next, cut off 2 lashes from each corner. Glue one of the large foil balls into each eye and leave them to dry. Then, wrap the remaining piece of toilet roll in foil and wrap another piece of foil around one end to finish the mouth. Now take the top of your cereal packet and cut it in half to make it thinner. Wrap the card in foil to make the tongue and use your fingers to curl the tongue up. Then glue one end of the tongue and stick the tongue into the mouth. When the paint is dry, glue the mouth into place below the eye hole. Glue the back of the eyeballs and stick them onto the headband. Glue the insides of the ears and fix them into place, and stick the small balls onto the nose to make nostrils. Now you're ready to make your wings. And now it is time for the Clockwork Paralympics. But before we move on to the Clockwork Paralympics, just to flag up, in the second half of the show, after the Clockwork Paralympics, we'll be looking at the week ahead, recommending things for you to do online or offline from home, mostly free. And then we're going to go back to the Kitchen Carnival for, well, really to just sort of drop in on part of a percussion workshop that we had, when was it? About 10 days ago, as part of our Zoom together sessions. So get your pots and pans ready to play along. You're going to have a Kitchen Carnival percussion session to finish off with. But now it's time for the Clockwork Paralympics, and I cannot believe it. The Paralympics start on Tuesday, and we've been running our Clockwork Paralympics in anticipation of this moment for a very long time. So, Robin, I can see you're desperate to introduce your medal wearer, or your hopeful medal wearer.
Yeah, this is Henry. I was reliably informed earlier. He is probably a 30 centimeter tall, completely white teddy, other than grey eyes and a grey nose and mouth. Very soft and cuddly, but I'm sure he is uniquely powerful, ready for competing.
Wonderful. And we have our trusty Teddy Tanny, who's a sort of medium-sized honey-coloured bear with a red sweatband, blue sports top and red and white trainers. And fortunately, she comes with her own medal. And she is holding up, also, I suspect, a kind of eBay purchase, an official-ish Tokyo Paralympics 2020. Well, we've turned it into a placard, haven't we? But Tanny is very much supporting the Paralympics. So to join in the Clockwork Paralympics, all you have to do is choose the toy on the right or left side of the screen to support. And because it's the Clockwork Paralympics, it's time for our stars to return. So we've got our Clockwork Caterpillars back as heroes of our field events. They're a little bit slower than the Meerkats, so I might get you to do a bit of audio description on this one, Robin. And they are, as previously, racing in the bathroom.
Okay, well, we are going to choose the caterpillar on the right-hand side of the screen. So we have the orange caterpillar, and London are represented by the green caterpillar. Again, we're on this rather slick-looking track, so we should get some absolute relative caterpillar zooming. Oh yeah, a flying start. From this angle, I can't actually tell who's winning yet. Although it would appear the green one, the London competitor, seems to have crashed into the stands. So the Birmingham, the Commonwealth competitor, the awesomest Commonwealth competitor, has just so far shown the way. It's definitely going to get there before the green one, whichever happens. Yes, it is a resounding victory for the Commonwealth caterpillar. So I'm going to present Henry with this rather lovely rectangular gold medal, which was from the West Midlands Championships at some point. 2013. There you go. It says it on the back on the thing. So sorry, Tanny. Better luck next time.
Tanny says, never mind. She's always been a very, very, very good sport. So without further ado, we will recommend things for the week ahead. And of course, that includes things that are already online. So I'm going to start with another video from our friends at Disability Arts Online, prepared by Dean. And Dean is going to tell us all of the things that we can find on the Disability Arts Online website from July.
This month on Dow, Being Benedict Phillips, or How to Be Dyslexic, is an exhibition of work about being dyslexic. It is on at the Gallery Oldham until 18th of September 2021. Alison Wilde reviews A Quiet Place Part 2, a film with the value of deaf culture woven through it. Gobscure writes about a future Disability Arts Online project on disability and homelessness. Dow pays tribute to talented writer, artist and community builder Neela Gupta. Raise your glasses, everyone. No Longer Inside is a Disability Arts Online COVID commission by Carrie Ravencroft, giving her account of using art to connect herself as a way of coping through the struggles of COVID, getting through the crisis. Now, go check out our newsletter. And peace out, folks.
And as always, thank you for that, Dean. Right, Robin, I hope you're now able to use the microphone, but I wonder if you want to start by recommending something for the week ahead.
Oh, indeed I do. Something we've been waiting for 5 years. It is Tuesday sees the opening ceremony of the 2020 Tokyo Paralympic Games in 2021. Obviously it is a huge sporting event, and thankfully is still going ahead. Following the success of the Olympics, we're now going to see if we can be higher up the medal table in the Paralympics than we were in the Olympics, which, don't get me wrong, was an astonishing total of medals by the Olympic team. So the opening ceremony itself is on Tuesday. Coverage starts at 11:30 a.m. And the actual ceremony is meant to start at 12 o'clock lunchtime. It's going to be hosted by Ade Adepitan and Tanny Gray Thompson, in fact, with additional commentary from Krishnan Gurumurthy and Rob Walker. And we're just so excited about it. And interestingly, some of the finals, particularly the swimming finals, are on, I think, 8 o'clock in the morning UK time, which is 5 o'clock Japanese time, as opposed to the Olympics when they ran finals in the mornings to coincide with the American telly. I think, I'm not sure exactly why. However, that makes some of it a little bit more watchable. Important to note that it is all on Channel 4. Channel 4 have pulled out all the stops to get as much coverage as possible, and they've dedicated the whole of More 4 for the Paralympic Games, and also has its own kind of micro website with 16 different live streams. They're saying are going to provide over 1,000 hours of sport over the next 16, 18 days, whatever it actually is.
Yeah, and I think that's the key difference. Fortunately, nobody wants to show the Paralympics in the same way around the world, and therefore the competition is not so fierce. So Eurosport bought up all the Olympic rights, and as anybody who watched them know, only let the BBC show 2 sports at a time. But Channel 4 is going to be able to show everything. So as Robin says, whatever you want to watch, you'll be able to go to their website and watch it. And I just think that's great. I'm not so keen on the superhuman, but we'll move swiftly on through lack of time. And I'm going to pop my first recommendation in next, which is Campfire Presents Culture Clasher with Don Letts. And they describe Don Letts as the original Rebel Dread, but he's a really legendary DJ and filmmaker. And he's just been captured, as they put it in a book called There and Black Again. So that's a free event next Thursday from 5 to 6. Julie, what do you want to recommend?
Well, there's a full moon on Sunday, and it's a blue moon, which is a bit misleading because it's not actually blue. But if you get 4 blue moons in a season, the third one is always called traditionally the blue moon. It's a sturgeon moon or a grain moon linked into the time of year in the North America. But why I'm saying it is because for those of us who are still indoors, having that connection with outside, I think, is really important. And it's something wherever you are, you don't have to have internet access or anything like that. You can just look out the window, hopefully look out the window and see it. But the Royal Museums Greenwich have got a lovely website, and you can find out more about it there.
Fantastic, and that link will be up. So Tracy, I know you dressed up to go out to stay in to be more creative. What are you going to be creative doing?
Well, hopefully I'll be creative with my salt dough. And in my spare time after my salt dough, I'm going to be watching a series on BBC called Ghosts, which I did watch series 1. I'm quite surprised it's now gone to series 3. I don't know what happened to 2, but it is on iPlayer, and it's just absolutely hilarious. It's basically a show about a young couple that inherit a country manor, but this country manor is full of ghosts through the decades. So
Centuries.
Centuries, exactly. And in the end, this young couple, I don't know, spoilers, but this young couple actually become really good friends with the ghosts, and the story develops. It's it's a show that I started watching with the kids, and the kids thought it was really funny. So it is family friendly, and it's on iPlayer. So I think I'm going to go back and watch, see how this story is being panned out.
Yeah, I've just seen it advertised, and I've missed the whole of the first two series. I mean, as far as I was concerned, it was like a brand new thing. I'd never heard of it. So, but yes, it does look very intriguing, and I always end up enjoying your TV recommendations.
I forgot to say that the cast are actually the cast from Horrible Histories, which is a really popular children's history show. So it's sort of slightly, it's not even grown up. It's just probably aimed more at families rather than the Horrible Histories is aimed at the kids. This is aimed at mums, dads, aunties and kids.
Robin.
Yeah, I've just got one more for this week. It looks really interesting. So starting tomorrow is the Whitby Folk Week. And having looked at it, it's something that it's very much about kind of being, wanting to participate from home. I mean, obviously, you're not going to be able to, you could join in, but they can't hear you as such. But tomorrow night at 8:00, and it's free on Zoom, although you can pay if you feel the artist deserve some remuneration. That kind of the opening show is a kind of how to play Ceilidh, get involved with Ceilidh music. If you are reading the website, the word that is spelt Ceilidh is pronounced Ceilidh. I would never have known how to spell it if I hadn't seen it, I promise you. And it very much says, it's not just about the music, it's about dance, and the movement. And I guess hopefully as the week progresses, kind of, what some of those dances and those movements and even how the instruments are used it fits really well with our kind of, folk in motion idea of dancing being about telling stories through movement as well. And it looks great, as I say. So the opening event is on tomorrow night at 8, but then there's a whole week of other stuff, which you kind of is all. Well, there's a link.
Brilliant. I mean, I hadn't even heard of that, but I've already been to at least one folk event around the country from home this year, so I'm definitely going to check that out. So my next one, I found a website that I think we've mentioned before, but not for a very long time. And it's called designmynight.com. And it has a page which is literally called Quirky Things to Do Online at Home. And quirky things to do online at home includes a massive range of activities, from gaming and, particularly those escape room games, to line dancing from home, chocolate tasting from home, and learning how to do magic tricks from home. A lot of it is paid for, but some of it is free. And actually, some of the most fun things are free. But of course, as always, there's also a lot of artists trying to make their living by encouraging you to book and pay to see them online. So if you can afford it, that is a great thing to do. Julie, what else do you have for us?
Well, I came across something which I'm very excited about, which is a virtual tour of the Postal underground system, which is historic. It's free, it's about 10 minutes long, and it takes you on the little narrow gauge railway that runs underneath London. So that is part of the postal delivery process that was anyway. I think everything's changed now, but it's lovely. It's run by the Postal Museum.
Well, that sounds amazing. It's very Hogwartsy as well, and kind of like those little trains under the bank and so on. Tracy, do you have anything else for us?
No, just another little plug for the Paralympics. I'm hoping that I'm glad the events are on at 8:00 in the morning rather than 3:00 in the middle of the night. So yeah, I'm going to be watching that, and I'm really hoping that, as with the Olympics, there was a lot of emphasis on younger females getting involved in sport and the different types of sport, and I'm just hoping that carries through to the Paralympics.
Yeah, I understand there's more women on the team than there ever have been. The Olympics sent more women than men for the first time. I think with the Paralympics, it's about 40%, 40-something percent. So it's almost half are women. And of course, there are different sports in the Paralympics, so that does affect the gender balance as well. I think the serious point for everybody is, you know, these guys have been training for so long and they haven't got an audience. And if you're like us, you can't go out anyway. So let's be that audience for them from home. But in the meantime, I've got one other thing. So it's another of these websites where you can find all sorts of things for yourself. But again, it's one I haven't come across before, and it's called ticketsource.co.uk. And you can use TicketSource to sell your own tickets. And that's really how you find the things on TicketSource. So what I did was I searched online and then looked for the things that are free, because that's what I tend to do. And I found a really wide range of performances, talks, workshops, and classes. So that's ticketsource.co.uk. Did anybody else have anything else, or are we all glued to the paras? Judy?
Julie.
Thank you. I just went back to the Natural History Museum. I think because there's so much emphasis on climate change and anticipating the global meeting in Glasgow in November, I think it's worth just revisiting and looking again at some of the wonderful animals and creatures that make up our Earth.
Yeah, and they've got a wonderful website. All right, Robin, you can have the final word.
Sorry, just that kind of linked to the launch of the Paralympics is I believe we're just going to mention it very briefly, is a new campaign called We the 15, which is a global campaign for something called disability rights. Without being at all disparaging, it's nice to see it being picked up on a much larger scale than obviously we've been doing for the last 35, 40 plus years. But it's literally, it was launched on yesterday, and hopefully we're going to see a lot more of that over the next, during the Paralympics as a really good launch point for kind of, a global attempt to change the lack of equality between disabled people and non-disabled people.
Yeah, and I'm very much hoping we're going to find somebody to agree to be interviewed by you and get them on the show before the paras are over. But yes, if you haven't seen it, it's we15.org, hashtag we15, for anybody who thought the Paralympics had got nothing to do with disability rights. We are very pleased for everyone to be proved wrong. And if you noticed buildings lit up purple last night, that was all part of the We the 15 launch. I almost lit up the house, and then I thought it was perhaps just going a little bit over the top. But, by the end of the paras, I might have changed my mind. So that really brings us almost to the end of today's show. We're going to finish, as I said before, with a little excerpt from the workshop that we had for the kitchen carnival percussion. So this is an opportunity to get your frying pans and your wooden spoons out and join in from home. Don't worry about the neighbours, they never worry about you. So we just like to say, have a great week, enjoy the Paralympics, and we'll see you again very soon. We've got lots and lots and more to join in with from home on our website, so do check it out, www.together2012.org.uk.
So today we're doing a kind of Brazilian percussion using stuff that you can find at home. So I very quickly, even before a lot of people came in, made this shaker, which is just, you can have a bottle, you can have some cans and some chickpeas or anything you want, and make shakers, or you can have a pot and like a wooden spoon, or I've got a drumstick, but anything you like. The frying pan is actually an instrument in the samba. Someone was obviously playing like a frying pan or something in their kitchen. And then at another point, someone made a stick to get to playing the frying pan. Someone was like, let's make the frying pan a little bit lighter so that we can sustain it. And it just became this instrument. The frigideira, which is just frying pan in Portuguese. and use it in samba. And if you don't have those as well, or don't want to use them, you can also just use your hands, clap, and join in. And if you don't even want to play, you can dance. do whatever you like. So the first one that we're going to do is a rhythm from Northeast Brazil. It's called an afro-shade. And there are two types. I'm going to show you both, but we're probably just going to do the simple one in the song. And if you want, you can play, or you can change. And I will demonstrate both. So for the afro-shade, the simple version that we have goes like this. It goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And if you realize there's always like a gap there, like a 4 should come in. It'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But that 4 is silent. You just go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I can demonstrate that same rhythm on the pop now. It just goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So there is also a pattern. Actually, maybe we can do the song twice and you can try the second pattern in the song and I'll go through it again. We did this before at Together 2012, and it goes like this. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4. I like toast and jam. 1, 2, 3, 4. I like toast and jam. 1, 2, 3, 4. I like toast and jam. 1, 2, 3, 4. I like toast and jam. 1, 2, 3, 4. I like toast and jam. On the pop. 1, 2, 3, 4. I like toast and jam. 1, 2, 3, 4. I like toast and jam. 1, 2, 3, 4. I like